Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, Chris, are you only going to talk about your baby? No. The answer is no. I'm happy that I'm a father. What can I say? I'm just gushing, kind of. But that's okay. Well, at least it is okay for me, and many people in our community have seemingly accepted it. I haven't seen as deep a connection with everybody out there as I'm seeing now. It's just kind of it's weird. It really is. I've lived so much of my life out loud and online. It's just nice to see so many people supporting our family, and thank you for that. More is certainly to come. Thanks to your support, especially to the 925 Super Gnomies as of today. If you want to become one of the Super Gnomies, it's easy, and you get all sorts of bonuses. I mean, really, look at the bonuses, including like how many exclusive videos are we up to now? We're up to a few. I know we're up to a few. The reason why by the way, I'm streaming live a little later today because we had an appointment that needed to happen. That appointment happened, and so I'm here to deliver to you everything I need to do right here from the comfort of my home. It's easy to do. All sorts of bonuses. Appreciate the support because of you. All the active Super Gnomies. I'm basically retaining John Prosser from Front Page Tech, kind of making it official. Not quite at a financial goal I'd like to be at. I'm going to rework some of the financial goals to say, what exactly we'd like to do. Essentially, John, for the past few days, we've been experimenting with a condensed version of TLDR, taking one topic, highlighting it, uploading it directly to Facebook, since Facebook seems to show videos more frequently than other things. And that's generally what we've decided to do. There is a possibility, however, to also take that little clip and also potentially push it into a daily podcast of sorts, just kind of a brief update, as well as pushing it into this YouTube channel if you think that that's warranted. Some people just don't want to sit through a half hour of a live broadcast after it's live. If you want to know an answer to the question, Chris, are you done with gadgets? No. Do you want to know an answer to the question, are you getting an iPhone 6? I want to. And I've thought a lot about which iPhone 6 I would like. And between the two, I was leaning, you might remember during the live broadcast of the Apple announcements, I was leaning towards the iPhone 6 Plus. I still want to get an iPhone 6 Plus, if only to test the iPhone 6 Plus. But in terms of a daily phone, as far as iOS is concerned, I think an iPhone 6 outright, not the 6 Plus, will do me just fine. I believe that it's, well, not only is it smaller, but I believe that the trade-off of a larger screen in a longer battery life and potentially a better camera, at least for output as far as photos and video are concerned, I really think I'm willing to make those trade-offs now, if only to retain a size that is more, if I can use this word in context, palatable to single-handed use. Although I have noticed over the past couple days, just kind of being aware of the habits that I have, when I need to type to someone on a phone, I'll use two hands. So I'm fine with using two hands in terms of using any type of keyboard on a mobile device, specifically a pocket mobile device. But it's still that single-handed use that I'm not sure I can get over, and I don't want to be afraid of dropping the phone. Again, I can't wait to try both the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. My hope is to be able to figure out a way to get the iPhone 6 sooner rather than later, and we'll see if that happens. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one tomorrow, though. I'm kind of wrapped up with the rest of my life right now to kind of worry about phones and if I'm going to get one. So I'm very grateful that everybody has patience. So am I done with gadgets then? No, not at all. I mean, people have been asking, Chris, when are you going to unbox a gadget? All you do is you talk about issues that actually matter to the world. When are you going to get back to the things that we tune in for? The gadgets, the hardware stuff, the products, really, not just the gadgets, products. All right, I got something for you right here. I'm going to unbox it. It is a baby butt wipe warmer right there. Sorry, a wipes warmer, but it's specifically wipes for the baby's butt. I made fun of this the other week in the blog, thinking, what? Why? And then as it turns out, Jedi does not like getting her diaper changed, specifically the part where we have to use a wet wipe to kind of clean her off. She hates it because the wipe is cold. So to solve that problem, we've got a machine that is spec'd to the gills. Check out these specs. Holds 80 wipes. Some other wipe warmers, they only hold like 60, and like, you know, inevitably you're gonna be at like 61. Oh, we need a wipe. Oh, you can't do it. Oh, you're gonna get a cold butt wipe now. Oh, sorry. You know, and then you're the worst father ever. Or mother, depending on who's changing the diaper. And it's got a built-in light, so you can see in the dark. You know, if you're daring enough to change a baby's diaper in the dark, I don't think this is a product really. Don't change a baby's diaper in the dark. I just would not recommend it. It also locks in moisture. Now, this is honestly, to be serious for a second, that's probably my biggest beef with moisture wipes or wet wipes, is that they lose moisture when you open the packaging, even with resealable stuff. So the fact that we can lock in moisture right here, we can keep our baby happy as she's getting her diaper-wipey changed. That's right, I said diaper-wipey. I can say that. I can also say iPhoney-woney and Android-wandroid. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Windows Phone, Windows Phone. That one's not as much fun. Microsoft needs to work on their name. Oh, look at this! Oh, this is beautiful. No box farts. And by the way, Jedi also did not produce a box fart, for those of you wondering. Oh, very, very nice. Very clean, very elegant. Wipes come out there. Wipes go in there. AC adapter comes out. And, oh, it's spring-loaded. So just in case, and I don't know, maybe, you know, this is possible, and I'm going to have to read the instruction manual. It is possible. She's small enough as a newborn that she could use this as a trampoline. So it kind of doubles as a child's toy, as well as something that is there to make the child's life easier. And really the parent's life easier, because it just, honestly, other fathers, are you with me? Doesn't it eat you up when you hear your child cry, and you know you can fix it, and you can't fix it, or you know you can't fix it, and it's impossible to fix, and yet your child cries. It's gut-wrenching to me. So there you go, product view, a gadget unboxing in lieu of having an iPhone. I made fun of those, but we're going to give it a shot. We'll see how it works. You will likely see the butt wipe warmer in future videos. We also have a discount, to make a segue, to a missile-firing, iOS-controlled Cobra iHelicopter. If you wanted to control a helicopter by way of your iOS device, that is one. Save money. Tons of deals every day at deals.lockergnome.com, including giveaways. I'm, currently getting, you might wonder, well, how did you get this baby butt wipe warmer and not the iPhone 6? Well, because I went to Amazon. I've been redeeming a lot of gift cards, iTunes gift cards, Amazon gift cards, Spotify gift cards, Google Play gift cards. I've been using go.tagjag.com/free apps and go.tagjag.com/free points. And so it's been easy to do. And it's been a lot of fun as well. By the way, this is a time where I do want to remind everybody that this live broadcast is being brought to you by Citrix GoToAssist. It offers a secure cloud-based solution for IT and customer support professionals to provide live and unattended remote support to their employees and customers working from any computer or mobile device. For a free 30-day trial, visit gotoassist.com. Sorry about that. Life happens. By way of Earle Greene, one of our super Gnomies, this is a big deal. Speaking of Android-wandroid, there's an Android browser privacy flaw, not to be confused with Google Chrome, Android browser. The browser is not that great to begin with, really, in respect to Android. I mean, a lot of people move to Dolphin or will use Google Chrome outright. But here's the deal. It's got a privacy flaw that is, it may be patched in a new version, but there's so many versions of this Android browser that will be susceptible to an issue where if you load a web page, effectively script could run, and that session could make it such that the web page, or the script, would be able to read your cookies, usernames, all sorts of stuff that you don't want to let the browser know about. So keep using Google Chrome. Big fan of Google Chrome, even though it doesn't yet support emoji. Shame on Google. Stop using the Android browser. I'm going to say it, because that's too dangerous, man. You'll go to a web page, you'll think it's fine, and then suddenly, bam! Whoa! What happened here? You'll never know what happened. until until it's too late and other bad things start happening. So the Android browser privacy flaw is a big deal with all those Android devices out there, millions, if not billions at some point, with not updated software, certainly the browser itself. That's a big deal. A lot of people are exposed, and I don't know if this is really going to turn into... I'm not going to call the Android browser the IE of the mobile world at all, because it's not. I mean, they've been keeping it up to date, relatively speaking. Although I think most of the world has moved on to Chrome, thankfully. It's still there, and unless people are aware that this is a problem, it's going to continue to be a problem for the people that have no idea it's a problem. That's the problem I have with that. So hopefully, Google and everybody who's running the Android browser will get an update to the Android browser, or I would strongly recommend recommending them switch. You probably have already to something like Chrome, which is constantly up to date, and or the Dolphin web browser, which works quite well on Android and I believe iOS as well. Although I'm happy enough with mobile Safari on iOS. Elazar, hang on, I can't see your name from here. People are watching live. Thank you for watching the countdown for when it went live. Elazar Kramer said, "What about BlackBerry Whackberry?" Okay, that wins. I love that. BlackBerry Whackberry. Cassie Lowe is she's saying, "Hi, you guys ended up getting a wipe warmer. That's awesome." Yeah, well, we'll see. I might use this on myself too. Why not? You got it, right? Might as well use it. We're warming the wipes. By way of Earle Greene again, one of the super Gnomies, legislation is currently in Congress that would protect customers who write negative online reviews. Fantastic. The only thing I would say is that just because it's negative doesn't mean that it's true, and certainly vice versa. There are some people who write things that are just, there's no foundation in truth at all, and it's easy for competition to write a negative review, and how are they going to validate whether or not a review was legitimate? Or it was posted with, no care in the world. Here's the thing. What I've learned in all the years of doing things online, people complain about the dumbest things. Myself included. I complain about dumb things all the time. All the time. So I'm absolutely guilty of doing that. And we just do. We feel emotional in a spot. And let's say we're at a restaurant and we're just waiting. We're waiting for them to come back. We've got our menus down, our phones down, and we're just waiting. And they come back a half hour later. I'm upset. I'm hungry. I'm there because I tengo hambre. There, how's that for all you Spanish-speaking people? Oh, Firefox on Android devices. Efrain Quihi says, very good call on that one. Elazar asks why the Android browser still exists. Because it's not labeled Chrome, number one, and number two, Google launched with the Android browser, and number three, OEMs probably don't want to have Google on their phones more than they need to, and so it's just out. Either way, it's out there today, and I'm just telling you, I'm don't say I didn't warn you, because I'm just telling you, I would definitely keep your eye on that. Yeah, so I'll complain on Twitter like. Meh, 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 meh. In fact, I did, not even passive-aggressively. I'll be kind, and I'll tip well. But I'm like, I'm not sure if this serving was as good as the one I had before. Or, Jesus, it seems like there's not a lot of whatever on a dish that I know very well. I've done this in the past. And someone, they were watching Twitter, and someone came over to the table like, was this not okay? I'm like, no, it was fine. I have no issue. Trust me, you're gonna get tipped very well. I'm fine with it. Your service is fantastic. I love the food. It was prepared very well. It's just that in terms of a cut, this is like half as much as you normally put on there. And this restaurant had also been in the process of kind of cutting back on portions. Kind of caught them in it, but they rectified it almost immediately. And I kind of felt, I felt awkward, but I told them like, yeah, that's true. I was a little disappointed, but I didn't want you to feel. I was going to tell the waitress as well. It's not her fault. I would never hold them responsible for something like that. But very rarely will I send something back. It worked, and it was. I wasn't snarky about it at all. Certainly not online, because that stuff will haunt you forever. But it's nice to know that there's protection for negative reviews. But I wonder how far that'll go, because I think some people are just negative and they don't realize they're negative, and not just passive aggressive. It's just that. Where's the validity in that, and where do they draw that line? I don't have the answer to that question. I do have an answer to the question, is Jedi my princess? She is, and she will be wearing the I'm the Princess onesie when she's old enough or big enough. Everything we have for her is like 3 to 6 months old. She's so small. We have nothing for newborns. Then I also received, by way of the same person who sent me this, same people I should say, Cynthia and Mark. They also sent, and Cassie, this one's for you, Starfleet Academy, ex Astris Scientia Cadets. San Francisco, look at that. So she's in Star Trek, or the Starfleet Academy right there. And not to be outdone, we also have a Doctor Who onesie right there with the TARDIS up front. Look at that. And that's what she sounds like when she's crying. Someone could remix it and make it like all auto-tune. Okay, I'm moving on. Anyway, I got these nice, cute, geeky baby onesies for Jedi. Very, very happy about that. I don't know if I'm halfway done through the broadcast, but let me make sure I'm giving these people credit, this particular level. Now, Cynthia and Mark also sent other things, but I do want to kind of move on with other news. I'm trying to, balance between everything I have today. California, in the state of California, self-driving car permits are now being issued. My question to that is, how do you pass the vision exam? When you drive, you stick your car's, I was going to say eye holes, the lights in some kind of, like, okay, tell me which side the light's flashing on. No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Did you guys get the joke? Did you guys ever take that vision test at the DMV? You kind of put your face in the light, but I was doing the clicker signal car. If you had to explain the joke, it's failed, Chris. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Are you talking to yourself? I am, because I've got nobody else to talk to right now. By way of one of the Super Gnomies, Steve Mannering, looks like, well, actually, he was one of the first people to tell me about this. Tim Cook recently did an interview on with Charlie Rose on his show. It was fantastic. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. And then recently, Apple's come out and talked at a much deeper level about really the dramatic differences between iOS and Android. And this is the thing that I think a lot of fans may or may not want to hear. But I'm going to call it anyway. I think one of the biggest features of iOS is a feature they really don't tout outright. And I've said this before, not the first time. Google is almost the antithesis of Apple. And that's not a bad thing at all. Different business model, though. I've explained that to you before and why. So I don't want to go too deep into that. But privacy is a big deal. And Apple, or Tim Cook, issued a letter basically saying, we are pretty much the opposite of Google, folks. It was not a slap in the face of Google or, slap across Google's face, but it was interesting. Now, Google has kind of made certain moves to counter what Apple's been doing for good reason. More encrypted data, which will benefit every user, which is good. Usually one company only moves because another company moves, so competition is healthy. So Google cares about your privacy, but at a different level than Apple might, because Apple's not selling you. Google is. They're selling, your data effectively, not outright, to advertisers and marketers. That's how Google makes its money. That's why you have ads showing up in Gmail. That's why you have ads showing up in Google searches. Apple's got a completely different business model. Apple makes money with hardware. Google does not. So it's interesting to me, and I think one of the best features that you could find in iOS 8 specifically is specifically privacy. That is, I think, the number one driving feature of iOS 8. Forget everything else. Everything else is just icing on the cake. So it's nice to see Android also moving forward with the pending Android L release, which hopefully we'll see by the end of the year. And I'm excited for that. By the way, I pre-ordered the, the new Fire from Amazon, the Fire tablet. I think I got the 6-inch version. It was $99. I'm like, $99? All right, sure, I'll give it a shot. If anything, I could, use free time and, by the time Jedi's old enough, kind of play around with some games or apps or movies or whatever, specifically geared towards kids. And even though they have a tablet that is specifically geared towards kids, I'm like, $99. Okay, Geek Impulse buy territory. I'm willing to give it a shot. The big news with the Fire OS is that they recently updated it, or will be, specifically with the launch of their new hardware. And they've now forked, instead of an older version of Android, KitKat. So they forked 4.4, which is I would say for all intents and purposes, just about the latest version of Android 2 fork, and certainly I would hope that would address a lot of the issues that I had with Fire OS, including some stutteriness that was indicative of earlier versions of Android. I'm not sure I'm sold on Amazon's approach to user experience yet, but I'm willing to give it a shot again. $99 to me, absolutely worth trying, if only you get a feel for it. $99. And I would say that's a flagship device. Or close to it, right? I mean, you can get a bigger screen and, you know, whatever, but $99. To me, that's a potential Nexus whatever version, you know, mini tablet Google's going to call it. Nexus 7, Nexus 8, whatever. I'm not going to say it's a killer, but it's certainly interesting, at least from a consumer's point of view. They're positioning it right here before the holiday season. $99 for an Amazon tablet. You like Amazon, you shop on Amazon, get an Amazon tablet. Now, what's funny is that in the press release, there was a statement from Amazon, and it said, the guy, basically the rep said, we don't make money when we sell hardware, we make money when you keep using Amazon. So I was actually blackballed from Amazon PR years ago when the original Kindle was released, because I basically came out and I said, someone told me to contact you and tell you, here's what I think you should do. I think you should basically give the Kindles away. I said, give them away. You know, if Prime members, give them away. You know, or you buy so many books a year, give them away. Because you'll make more money with people buying ebook licenses than you will in doing anything else. So, hang on just a second. Okay, I may be getting an iPhone tomorrow. Sorry, that was very, very important. I hope I'm getting the iPhone 6 tomorrow. Stay tuned. Well, no, not tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow. It'd be Saturday. But someone may be getting it and then overnighting it to me. It's very, very kind of him, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to say too much right now. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what the hell I was talking about before I reset my mind, and now I'm like, oh, iPhone. This is the way it works. So I'm going to just move on. By way of one of the Super Gnomies, Earle Greene. I love Earle sends me these great stories every day. I can't use all of them, and I watch a lot of what you guys watch as well, and gals. World's first 3D printed car has been unveiled. That's cool. I mean, that is cool. I wouldn't say it's practical, but that's cool. Kind of like the guy who did a 3D clubhouse of sorts. He did the castle with 3D printing. That's kind of neat. Another fascinating quote. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier. The quote from Amazon. So he basically, the guy from Amazon. I'll get to it in a second. The guy from Amazon effectively. I can't talk to you right now, dude. Oh, cool. I just got. Oh, is it continuity? I've got iOS 8 on my iPhone and iOS 8 on my. Oh, that's fascinating. On my iPad now. It's continuity. Cause I got the message on my iPad. That's kind of neat. Ooh, dude, you guys just saw my first reaction to continuity, where something happens on the iPhone and I could get passed back and forth between the iPhone and the iPad. That was cool. So, does Apple? Elzar asks, does Apple make any money off of ads at all? I'm sure they do. Not much though. Apple's not really in the ads game. They tried with iAd, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Or iAds, I guess. So basically, this Amazon executive now says the same thing that I said back when the first Kindle was released. Not Fire, the Kindle, the first ebook reader with e-ink, for the digital paper. I got blackballed. And now Amazon's saying the thing that I got blackballed for. God, who was right? Who was right? I mean, I'm not saying in vindication that I'm going to drop Jeff Bezos a line and say, I tried to tell you this 5 years ago, but I'm glad you finally got the memo. Because the idea was they should have gotten the Kindles out in as many hands as possible. I mean, if you got a Kindle for free and ended up spending $500 on ebooks that you otherwise wouldn't have spent, Amazon would have served to make more money and have more branding and have more a place in the market so that when newer things come along, people are locked in. That really kind of, I read that quote and I'm like, what? So I was reminded of that as I'm reading this other headline. Microsoft CEO, thank you, by the way, Earle Greene, says that current market share is not what matters with Microsoft's mobile strategy. What? Okay. So I basically, the way I read that headline is, well, I think they're conceding defeat. I think they're not conceding defeat. I think they're admitting defeat. They're conceding to the winners, really, Android and iOS, or Google and Apple vicariously, or indirectly, directly. Man, my head's all over the map. I got daddy brain. I think that's my problem right now. So, the current market share of Microsoft is not what matters with their mobile strategy. So they're saying potentially that, that we're going to make phones, sure, and we're still operating system stuff. But they're looking at a bigger market, and that is getting their software on every device they possibly can, no matter which platform that happens to run on. And this is something that I've argued needed to happen for, I've been saying they needed to be doing that for the past 3 or 4 years. Office is finally now on iPad, and it's fantastic. Office is better on iPad, as far as I'm concerned, than it is on like a Windows RT machine. It's fantastic. So it's fine for Microsoft to take and continue down that path with consumer strategies, and I think they're right, and I'm glad to hear that they're at least seeing that the market share as it's measured today is not what it used to be. To sit here and quibble over, PC installations versus tablet users versus smartphone users, ultimately it doesn't matter to the average user. They just want to do something. They want to use something. They just don't care how they use it. It's whatever's most convenient, whether it's a phone or a tablet or a traditional PC, which fewer and fewer people are using for anything apart from gaming and maybe some legacy applications. Sony is expecting their losses to quadruple because of their smartphone business. Ouch! Whoa! Their losses quadrupling because of smartphones. Ouch. That's... Sorry to hear that, Sony. I'm sorry to hear that from anybody. It's a tough game. You've got some pretty well-established players here. Samsung's pretty much got a stranglehold on Android mobile devices here in the U.S. today. Huawei's coming in from behind. You got Lenovo possibly making a play. Sony also in there, and of course Apple. Google... kind of. Google really doesn't make devices. I mean, they're reference devices, usually, the Nexus 7 or the Nexus 10 or the Nexus 4 or 5 or whatever the next Nexus is going to be called. And yes, I cannot wait to get my hands on one of those. I will absolutely be doing that. So it doesn't surprise me. I really have not seen a Sony phone in public. I've seen one in private, but I've not seen one in public. It could be telling. I don't know. Maybe just Sony hasn't done enough with their marketing. So I was mentioning that my friend Mark and my friends Mark and Cynthia. If they weren't my friends before, they are now. They sent me some on top of the geekier hoodies. They sent me some original. These are original prints, and I say original prints because obviously it's digital art, printed, not original art, but it's signed by the original artist. This is a series. You've probably seen these images online before. I'm guessing you have, because it's a fantastic series where the artist has basically drawn Winnie the Pooh as Chewbacca. So instead of Pooh with a honey jar on his head, he's got Chewbacca's got a stormtrooper helmet on his head. It's kind of fun. Oh, these are thick. I may be hanging these, although I may run out of wall space in Jedi's room. Honey jar. It's not Christopher Robin. You'll see here in just a second, but that would be Han Solo and Chewbacca, Christopher Robin, and Pooh. There's, instead of Rabbit, it's Tauntaun. And there's a couple in here. There's one that looks like it's straight out of a book. It must be the last one. There again is the Christopher Robin type character as Han Solo and Chewbacca and some Jawa. They look like they're rabbits there. And there we go. I'll just read it to you. This is a bedtime story with Chris. It says that the Force has a light side and a dark side, said Chris Solo Robin. I think, sighed Chew, that I may be a little too heavy for the light side. Oh, bother. So, thank you. These are kind of neat. I've seen the art online, so it's really, really nice to have prints autographed by the original artist. I also have an original handwritten letter from this guy right here, Tony, and his girlfriend Angie, even though Angie did not write any part of this letter. There's Tony and Angie, and I don't know how many pages, like 10 pages long. It took him 4 hours to write this. 10 pages he wrote to me. And I read it. It was fantastic. He writes about how he found me, and the first time he saw me, and he didn't realize, it was still me when he found me again. This is pretty cool. I love this kind of thing. and it's really neat because I've noticed him online on Twitter by and large. He's just got a generic avatar right now. That's how I know it's him. He wrote a letter explaining how he found me, and it was the iPhone. I think it was the iPhone. He mentioned iPhone 5. Hey, it was one of the newer iPhones. He was searching for a newer iPhone. No. It was summer. It was one of the iPhones, I think. Anyways, a series of iPhones, and he found me because of the iPhone. Effectively, that's what it was. That's what it was. I'm sorry, I messed up the details here, but it was a wonderful letter to write, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to treasure this for always. Love this kind of memorabilia. Just letting me know how deeply I've impacted lives. Tony and Angie, thank you for your support, and thank you so much. This is the thing that I was looking for in the vlog the other day before Diana went into labor. Kind of joked about it, and I mentioned something on Twitter. I was like, hey, if anybody could get this and find it, let me know, because I've been trying to find it, because it's an exclusive 6-inch Black Series figure. It is the Boba Fett prototype armor right there, or it's Boba Fett in prototype armor. Amazing levels of, or I should say, detail, paint. The sculpt is breathtaking. I don't know, countless points of articulation. And it's just nice to have this in my collection. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to take him out of the package yet. As a collector, I'm kind of like, do I hold on to him? What do you guys think? Do I open him? I'll let Tony tell me what I should do with it, since he did kindly send that to me based on a loose request. And Tony, if you need me to cover that and shipping and handling, you just let me know, because I did make the request out to the public saying, hey, if anybody, let me know. Because that's what I wanted. I did want that just to have in my collection. Very, very nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and round this out right now. Tomorrow, we're going to have an AMA, so feel free to ask questions. Of course, the Super Gnomies at the $5 a month level and higher get priority with the AMA. So watch that thread. If not, you can use the open Facebook thread on my Facebook page. And I'll get to that if I stumble through everything else that I want to cover that day. Two things. 1, Goat Simulator is now available for iOS and Android. And 2, Keymoji is one of the more unique keyboards I've seen for iOS 8. Apparently, keyboard apps are now very popular on iOS 8. I expect that to continue. I haven't found one that I'm like, yeah, I want to use that. I don't know. They look kind of funky. Every one of them I've seen, I'm like, ew. So, even this one, it's free, and I'm looking at it going, ew. It doesn't look amazing. There's the avatar. That's the icon for it. Oh, look at that. Previews are live. I love it. Finally, video previews. Oh, shut up. Sorry, had to yell at it. There we go. I'm going to give you a live preview of this. What it is, it's a keyboard that looks like the iOS keyboard, but it inserts emoji right there. So it basically, you can type something, a message, and then it'll give you emoji lettering. It's basically a massive emoji keyboard. So if I said, hey, let's get coffee, it will translate that into the emoji characters for, hey, let's get coffee. And then you can send the emoji. It's so cool. I'm a fan of emoji. I admit it. I know I shouldn't be, but I am. I love emoji. I would love a shirt. It's just like, I heart emoji, but the problem is that it would have to be all emoji. I wouldn't love a shirt. Don't make it for me, please. Maybe a mug. I can do with mugs. Shirts I'm a little picky about my t-shirts, but either way, stay tuned for tomorrow's AMA. Hopefully, a live unboxing of the iPhone 6. If I get it on Saturday or potentially Sunday, stay tuned for that. Then, on top of that, we're going to, or I would like to be able to do the iPhone 6 review. The Super Gnomies will get that review before it's published to the world. And it'll likely be a very lengthy review, as I'm prone to do with a lot of the gadgets that I have experiences with. Some people like that, some people hate it. It's just what I do. So I guess that's really all I wanted to say at this point. I think the rest of it can wait for next week when we cover the news. Thank you, everybody, for you have no idea how much it means to me. It's amazing to see everybody having fun with me as I enter this new chapter in life. No one's really giving me too much grief. Some people miss me when I was without child. I don't at all. This child obviously changed my life, and how do you explain it to someone who's never had a kid? I mean, I just can't. All those things that you see throughout the years, it just suddenly makes sense to you. It just makes sense. I mean, it's probably the most amazing thing I've ever created in my. Jedi is absolutely the most amazing thing that I've ever created in my life, and I've been, to this point, my business has been my baby, and you know, that's the thing that I gave birth to, and it's important because I need to have a business to be able to, you know, continue to provide for my family. And again, thanks to all the Super Gnomies for helping, and the sponsors, they've been great. But no question in my mind. I mean, that's it. I'm good. Like, it's so happy. All right, I'm done gushing now about my daughter. You didn't see her today, so I can't get accused of, hey, you keep showing us the baby. I didn't show you today. You can look online for all the photos that I keep posting, though. Trying to make them fun for everybody, though. So, thanks again for all the support. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, watching the vlog if you haven't, because that's another way of catching up with the things that we do, including things you might see throughout the day that are kind of fun and not very functional. But I really appreciate you spending the time with me. If you did decide to spend 36 minutes with me or so, or however longer the broadcast was. At this point, I'm going to wrap this particular broadcast up and record today's live Q&A with you and me. Which of your senses are most important? And this is interesting. I don't know if I've covered this topic before. It was a question asked by one of you, so I'm going to address it. It's one of those exclusive videos to Super Gnomies. I don't know how many Super Gnomies are necessarily interested in my answer to the question, but I'm here to answer it for you. Now, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.